Welcome, everybody. I am Stefan ADIKA. You're on ADIKA Live. Today, we have the wonderful Dee Wallace, actress. You might know her from E.T. You might know her from Cujo, Rob Zombie's Halloween. She's going to be a voice in the Munsters that's coming out, Rob Zombie's Munsters. But in the meantime, she has a book called Born. And this is a side of Dee that you wouldn't even know about. I found out about. Well, I'm going to share it with you, share what's going on in my personal life with you, and Dee's going to help us get through it. Don't touch that dial. Dee Wallace, it's all coming up now. Hi.
Hi, sweetheart. Can you hear me?
Oh, yeah, I could hear you fine. Can you hear me?
I can.
Let me just fix my internet. That's not good if I freeze. You don't want freezing.
We don't want you to freeze, baby.
No, you want me to look good, so you have to put this. I have to fix my.
You look styling with your hat, dude.
You know what? I just worked out on the Peloton, and I'm a little crazy, so I don't want you to see my hair. It gets frizzy and it gets real Jewish looking. I'm Jewish, so I can make Jewish.
Coffee talk with the Teague. Nothing rhymes with that but chicken tikka. We name drop here with Stefan and all his friends.
You know, Dee, before we get started, I got to be honest with you. I didn't know about all the self-healing books that you wrote. And what happened was,
A lot of people don't.
And 3 months ago, on the 15th of May, almost 3 months, my mom, and she was young, passed away at 78, just out of the blue.
Sorry.
And it shook me. And it's so crazy because Harlan and I have been going back, and I've been getting different. I have a music channel, and then this is I'll do authors, and I'll do actors or people that were important to me, like West Side Story, George Chakiris. Like, who didn't grow up loving
Who
him,
didn't? Yeah.
right? And just what a sweet human being he is. And I was honored just talking to him and telling my mom, I go, Mom, and she knew all the movies from Yul Brynner, and I go, oh my God. And then of course you growing up, I'm 55 now, and growing up with everything you've done, because from E.T. and the Howling and just everything, and just you were like everybody's mom after E.T. It's like I want this lady to be my mom. So I felt like, and you probably hear it all the time that you know, like I knew you, as growing up.
Sure.
So when I was
Everybody's grown up on me.
Everybody's grown up. And then when I start looking at the book Born, and just all the self-help, and on your website how you do these seminars, and I really want to bring my viewers aware of it, because
Thank you.
Because it touched me, and I still feel at a loss. Look, I'm using you as my therapist, Dr. D. But
Fine. A lot of people do.
And you go through these things in life, and it was a weird how things wrap up. And I'll make it. I don't know what I believe. I'm not a religious guy, and so I started. I had a gentleman who I made friends with on the show. His name was Kenny Vance. He was from Jane the Americans, and one of my mother's favorite singers. Here's a crazy story. If you have a moment, let me just explain this to you.
I'm just here with you, babe.
Okay. So anyway, long story short, this guy became my friend. So then one day he called me, how you doing? He did a doo-wop thing with Dion and the Belmonts. I go, my mom passed away. I was at a place taking her cat to a vet, and doo-wop music, and it was weird. And my aunt and I didn't know what to do with death. It's like the Book of Dummies. What do you do when you lose your loved ones? You don't know what to do. It's like, if it's not written out, you're just lost and you're numb. And then he helped me get my mom back to New York, to her resting place, as a friend. And I didn't know him and it was like this circle. Like, there's my mom's favorite singer. Who would ever know that this man who I grew up listening to his music was helping me get my mom to the resting place? And it was where, like, these characters, I grew up, my family and I, and even the rabbi that came, he was like the Columbo of rabbis, disheveled and a maniac, like, like out of his mind. But it was funny because my mom was like this Edith Bunker voice, just Jewish, wild, shit like Hot Lips meets, attitude.
Well, they bring all that stuff to you if you're open for it.
So I was just very lost.
Yeah.
So it's weird. I feel like there's an angel. But anyway, my long, crazy story. When I was reading about your bio, about all this other stuff besides E.T., I was like, oh my God, it was so intense and heavy. I really would like Dee to come on the show. And talk about this because we all deal with loss. It was very important, very touching to me, Dee, and
Thank you.
you know, and I see what you're doing, and I think a lot of people need that help
A lot of people.
more
lot
than
of
they know.
people, you know, we've just been taught to give away all of our power. And when you give away all your power, you're just left going like this.
You just left going. And let me tell you, so Kenny Vance, which I left out a main part of the story, he goes to me, Stefan, I could get really deep with you, but I don't want to go there. But at the time in my life, the rabbi he hooked me up with, his brother, he goes, he's like the John Lennon of rabbis. He's like this big rabbi. And I'm like, are you religious, Kenny? When did you get into it? He goes, no. He goes, when I did the soundtrack for the movie Animal House, because he produced it and all that, he was flying to Los Angeles. So the rabbi goes, what's going on, Kenny, after Janie Americans? He goes, well, I got this movie. I'm doing Animal House, the soundtrack. Because that's not your thing, Kenny. He goes, your thing is more here. And he goes, what are you talking about? He goes, no. You'll find out. So when I interviewed Kenny, he goes, Stefan, when I met you, your knowledge of music was one thing, but I felt there was something about you where I could help you. And it was a crazy thing. And he goes,
It's called channeling, Stefan.
see, you got the lingo. I don't have the lingo, Dee. See, you know the lingo. And all these things were happening. And I'm still curious. I'm still nervous about the unknown, and what is the unknown? And I know you had loss. I was reading your whole bio. Everybody, knows about you and loss that you had, and then I go, is this it? The end is like it's so final. Like even today I'm driving. I go, Mom, I'm interviewing Dee Wallace. I go, because she loves movies. My mom was always in the movies. And I go, is there a sign? Can you just talk to me, Mom? Like, is there really is there life? What is there? So then I get a phone ringing. It's like a telemarketer. It rang once and hung up. And I go, while I'm driving, I go, was that you, Mom? And I'm like, I'm not trying to be like Norman Bates here. So don't think, but it's weird.
No, but that's one of the easiest ways they connect with you is technology.
Really?
Lights will blink. I've got some amazing stories. My dad visited me through a light that left my mirror after he committed suicide.
Wow.
I said to my husband, I was getting ready to get remarried in our backyard. And I said to my husband of 18 years, just give me a sign, baby. Give me a sign you're okay with this. Every clock in my house stopped at 5:04.
Wow.
Yeah. My older brother passed away recently. And he and I were like this. And I said, you got to connect with me, Denny. I got back after he died. The light in my office goes on and off randomly. And he started out being a minister. And the first sermon I ever saw him preach, he played the song For Everything There Is a Season, a time to, time to mourn and a time to whatever it is.
Yeah.
I hear that song probably 4 times a week.
Oh my God.
When my mom died, my stepdad was asking me, how do I know if she's trying to connect with me? I said, well, Papa J, you have to look for the signs. What were her favorite flowers? Roses. I said, okay, so look for roses. Well, he liked to go driving by himself. And he came to this truck stop to go to the bathroom. And he was walking to the men's room, and there in the middle of the path was a red rose. But, you have to be open to it.
You got to be open to it, huh?
You have to be open to it. You have to not be afraid of it. I mean, it's just energy. they just went back into the energy that everything is. So they lost the body, but they didn't lose them or their life force, right? So we're able to communicate with them all the time. We just have to learn the language.
Yeah, you know, it's funny what you just said because your story and when my mom first passed away, she was living in in Central Coast, California, wine country, I guess you would call it, by Paso Robles. So there's a place called the Madonna Inn. It's like this pink,
Oh God.
you know, the Madonna Inn.
I go to the Madonna Inn with my husband all the time.
And the last time I saw my mom, we went there, we stayed there. My mom loved it. We went with my wife and my daughter. So my mom's favorite song was a song called True Love Ways. It's not a popular song, a Buddy Holly song that people are really going to play. And if the viewers are watching, Madonna Inn is like pink, it's gaudy, it's Elvis-y, it's fabulous, but it's fun, you know? And we're sitting there now. This is right after my mom passed. And I'm sitting in the restaurant in the steakhouse with my wife and my daughter, who's 6. And I'm just staring at the band. All of a sudden, the guy starts going True Love Ways. And I go to my wife, I go, like, oh my God. She goes, what? Like you seen a ghost. I go, Amber, that was my mom's favorite song.
Yeah.
True Love Ways.
Yeah. So
It was wild.
fine right there.
I'm actually getting chills, and I have over here, which I took let me see if I could post this up really quick for everybody watching. This was a picture of me and my mom up there. You could see, if you could see that, Dee, when I was about 10 kissing her. That's my mom and I a couple of years ago. My arm around it, and then that's my son's hand with the bracelet. That's my daughter's hand holding my hand with the tattoo, and there's my poor mom over there holding her hand. I took it of us all together.
Oh, nice.
And I had to take it. I just had to take it. And it was something very special. You know, that
She liked to have fun in life, didn't she?
yes, she did.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, my mom was married. My dad, he's still alive, but he was a crazy Israeli guy, just crazy, obnoxious. She met the love of her life when I was about 10 years old, and I was obnoxious to him. My stepdad, Alan, he was great. And he passed away at 67 in his sleep of a heart attack. And my mom, she goes, that was the love of my life. Stefan, you'll never understand. I go, Mom, you'll move closer. Don't worry. You'll never understand the loss I have. She went on Our Time, the dating site. And she'd meet these guys. I go, what are you doing? Meet them at the Applebee's. I go, they think you're a hooker. You're going with different guys. I go, what are you doing, Mom? She goes, leave me alone. You're a schmuck. And I have these crazy videos of my mom and challenge. And she goes, leave me. I go, Mom. She goes, you don't want me to be with anybody. And she'd make a joke. I'd make a joke. I go, you just want to be like, she was always like the meddling, you know, just like always menacing. Like, what's the word I'm looking for? Just always,
Jewish mother.
yeah, but yeah, she's like the Jewish mother. And I'd make a joke. You want to sleep in the middle of my wife and I, like, would be the intruder, never would leave. And I would, so the family plot, none of us would talk about buried or any of that. We, you know, my stepdad's like, throw me in the trash. He was like, just get rid of me. I got him cremated. And the joke was he was always in the closet in my mom's house in the box. So when my friends would come over, my buddy, he's a drummer for Kiss, and he'd come over. He goes, want me to get you an urn from Gene Simmons? We'll get you an urn. I go, no. He goes, I get it for you. I go, no, my mom is happy with Al in the closet in an Urban Outfitters bag in a black box. Really nuts my mom was, but I laugh about this. I go, let's go say hi to Al. And I go, what are you going to do with this, Mom? She goes, leave me alone. I go, Mom, you just want, you know, she'd always be intruding. I go, you just want to sleep in the middle of Amber and I. So when we got to the gravesite, there's my mom's plot, but she made it where I'm on the left and my wife would be on the right. And I laugh about it, you know, I go, it's such a joke. So I ended up taking my stepdad's ashes and sticking them in the casket while the rabbi, you know, you're not supposed to do anything. And I go, Al, put her by the legs. I go, don't do anything. And crazy down there. And I put him in the casket and I put his ashes with my mom together. It was the right thing to do. The love of her life.
Yeah,
it was very important. And in comical way of Stefan's life, some of the ashes got on my suitcase. I go, ow, what the hell are you doing? Like, it was just funny, you know, some of it, you know, because it was met, you know, but I did that and it was very important. And I just look for these signs. I just want, and you know, you take things for granted. My mom used to say, you treat me shabbily, Stefan. And, you know, I'd go, Mom, leave me alone, stop. And now I wish she was here to bother me. I don't have that voice to talk to anymore or to hear the, you know, I do.
Yeah, sure. You can talk to her anytime you want. You just have to understand that she's energy, just like your energy. You just have a physical form around your energy. But you can talk to her, you can communicate with her, you can ask her, and then be open to receiving the answers.
When did you like finally believe in what you're doing? Like, when did it register with you? Like, wow.
Oh, when I was very little.
Very little.
I mean, when I was probably 8 years old when I got a message that something was wrong at my grandma's house, and my grandma and I were very, very close. She was like my best friend, and my mom, God love her, took me over there at 3 a.m. and the cat had gotten up on the stove and turned all the burners on, but they hadn't lit. So a lot of gas was coming out. And, you know, then when I was in high school, my father committed suicide. And as I was going to sleep, this bright light appeared in my mirror. And I thought the curtains weren't closed, but they were. And I looked back and the light left the mirror. And I heard, not like I hear you, but like I hear when I channel. And my dad said, Button Nose, that was his nickname for me. It's not your fault. Don't feel guilty. Don't feel bad. Your job is to go on and be happy in your life. And I'm telling you, I've talked to so many people on the other side. John Edward has talked to so many of my people on the other side. That's what they all want. They don't take all the junk that happens down here. Nobody holds any grudges. Nobody wants to get back at anybody. There's no such thing as karma. They just want you, because once they cross over, they go, oh, this is what it's all about, right? It's freedom. We're free. And they want us to be free down here so that we don't have to die to be free. So that's what I know. And I also know, and we will never understand, but no one leaves without choice. Nobody leaves by accident. The soul is always making a choice about how to leave. So, you know, there's a lot of books about past lives and things. And a lot of books address if you have to go through a very long illness, there's something your soul learns so that you can create more magnificently the next time you choose to come into embodiment. So the hardest thing for death is for the people who are left, right? But like everything else, we have a choice. I mean, sure, there's a process of grief and there's a period of grief. And then you have to choose. Are you going to use that death to limit your own life, to be an excuse why you can't do something? Because I can tell you, they don't want that. Or are you going to go, okay, I loved you, I honored you. Sure, we screwed some things up. Oh, well, we're embodiment. You don't care anymore. Now, to honor you, I'm going to go on and create my life powerfully. And I know that that's the best thing we can do.
You know what? It's almost like I feel like you have been watching me, and it's almost like you see what I'm going through, what you're saying, because I was like everything. Like I was grieving, hard to move. Oh, I don't want to do this morning. I don't want to do that. I'll stop and grab a photo album, and it paralyzes me for the day. And I go to my wife, I'm really sad today. You know, and it's like, yeah, and my mom would not want me. She would not want that. Now,
Not at all. She
No.
was feisty. I can feel her, and she was feisty and fun. You know,
really,
that's why she met all those guys at Applebee's. You know, it's like, well, I'm not going to roll over and play dead because he did. Right? But
totally.
it's a choice. It's a choice. And we have been taught at very early ages that if we make that positive choice to move on, we should feel guilty and we're disrespecting the people we loved. And nothing could be further from the truth. We are honoring the people we loved by going on to live beautiful, full, amazing lives.
Oh, so perfect what you're saying. You know, everybody watching, I'm going to do a spot here for you. And just I have to, because even myself, I got to get the book myself, because having you here, Dee, it's wonderful. And watching, we're speaking with Dee Wallace, and links are in the description down below. Her book, Born, is out, Giving Birth to a New You. And many probably don't even know about this side of Dee, and we're having a conversation with her. And links for her website will all be in our description. Please, 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 my viewers, click on it and check it out. It's pretty powerful stuff, and getting to talk to you is very
And let me tell everybody what Born is. I've been doing this healing work and private sessions with people all over the world for 40 years. And Born is literally a formula, a step-by-step formula for manifesting whatever you want to manifest in your life. Because once you know the formula, you apply it to everything in your life. And it's easy to read, it's short, it's entertaining, and you have to apply and live what I write about in that book, and then your life changes.
It's wonderful. It's wonderful. And I need that, because it takes a long time. You know, we live our lives trying to figure things out. And we worry.
And we live our lives trying to figure things out while we are being run by our little boys and girls within us who are fighting us about going where we want to go. Example, I can still hear my grandmother say, they're the rich people, we're the good people. Okay, so what does that mean when I'm trying to be an actress and I land ET and I'm shot into everybody's, catapulted to stardom and start making all this money? And I went, oh my God, I'm one of them. I'm not one of us anymore. God isn't going to love me. I'm going to be judged by all my friends. All that stupid stuff that we're taught.
Yeah.
Right? And those weren't God's words, by the way. Those were man taking God's words and making them into a way that they could control other people. In the good book, it says, these miracles and more will you do also. Well, you can't do that if you keep holding back your power in fear that you're not going to be loved if you make too much money. That's silly. Your consciousness decides what you do with your money. So I get up every day and say, bring it on, bring me as much money as you want, because then I can help my family. I'm helping my daughter buy her first home. You know, I give to lots and lots of charities. The other day I was in Starbucks and I saw what I knew was a homeless lady.
Mm.
And I went over and I said, sweetheart, are you kind of down on your luck? She said, yes, ma'am, I am. I said, well, here, I want you to have this money as my gift. And then a man comes over to me as he was leaving. He said, that was so wonderful what you did for that woman. I'm going to start going out and doing that for other people. And that's how it works. The more you have, if your consciousness puts it out there with love, then you just give everybody else the right to go out and make it and share it. You know, anything you want to create, you create through love.
Yeah.
According to my channel, love is the most powerful creation tool we have. But, you know, if you don't have enough money, you don't like money because you don't have enough. And our brain thinks in pictures. So, well, I don't have enough money and I don't like it that I don't have enough money. And your brain keeps seeing you not having enough money. I teach everybody to find their love place, which is as soon as you think of it, your heart opens and you smile. I go right to my little doggy Freedom, or Hawaii, or my daughter when she was a baby, right? So I think of those things and I just go, well, that's what money feels like. And that's what health feels like. And that's what great relations feel like. And your job is just to match love with everything you want. And then the universe brings it to you.
Wow, Dee, I gotta tell you, your words and just your smile and your eyes, I'm just honestly, it's such a good vibe. I get what you're saying because I'll listen to a lot of other people talk like what you're saying, and I don't never buy it. I never feel it, but I feel it when I see you talking and just your
Yeah.
eyes. Even not knowing this side of you, watching you in the films, I go, God, she seems like what a sweet woman this is from growing up watching you from the years, you know. And it's so funny because here you are, you come off of the scream queen, and here this
Yeah.
other side of you that people need to know
Well,
about.
and you know, those two sides work together pretty well. I spend half my life doing horror films and the other half of my life teaching people how to heal themselves from fear.
It's
Now that dichotomy works really well together.
it does work well, and it's a I mean, it's great to talk with you about these things, and it's really important. Now, do you do Debbie? Dee's an inspiration. Thank you, Debbie. She's one of the patrons over there. Yeah, and do you? And I want to put this clear because I saw on your website you do these. Do you do one-on-one Zoom
Oh,
calls?
yeah.
Can you tell the people about that? What my viewers about that a little bit?
Sure. They're half-hour sessions. And I go into the channel and you can ask the channel about anything. My specialty, so that you know, is that I can look into a person's energy and find where the blocks are. I can tell you the age they started at, usually the person you got them from. And it's amazing once you understand and put all that together, then together the channel gives me a statement, a couple of statements for you to redirect your brain, because that's really what we're doing, guys, is we're redirecting our brain. When I was growing up, all I saw was my grandmother taking care of my grandpa and my mom taking care of my dad. Now, what happens is between conception and 8 years old, A child's brain is completely locked in around how they see themselves, their self-esteem, how they see themselves in the world, and how they see the world seeing them. I call it the 3 pillars. And if any of those pillars aren't strong, your creation process isn't going to be strong. So I saw both my grandmother and mother taking care of the men in the family. And I went, oh, I get it. Women take care of men. That's the way the world is. And it took me a lot of relationships to realize that that belief was not serving me. Because in a relationship, ultimately what you want is a man who is complete within himself, a woman is complete within herself. They come together and form a complete whole. But they're whole individually first. And still, so many women are looking for a man to define who they are.
True.
So, you know, guys, take whatever subject you think you're blocked in your life. Make a list of everything you were verbally told about that subject between conception and 8, and everything that was modeled in front of you. And write it down, and you will see your belief systems in front of your face. And then on the next column, say, I am creating, and then write the opposite positive. So what I saw was women have to take care of men. I am creating strong, balanced, whole relationships in my life. I was taught you had to struggle for money. You had to struggle and work hard. I am creating ease and flow in money in my life. Those are just some examples.
Everybody watching, the book, the links, everything is in the description. Giving Birth to a New You, the book Born by Dee Wallace. Please check it out. Check her website out. But before I let you go, everybody's probably going to want to ask all the great stuff. And here's some pictures I pulled up. There's Dee with everybody's favorite ET right there. The lovable ET. But so many great stuff you have done. You really, I mean, there's right here Critters, all this great stuff. And here's a great picture of you with your daughter, who she's an author, an actress, but she's an author as well, right?
Best-selling author. Yep.
Right here.
Hashtag FML is her first book, and Ridiculous Misadventures of a Single Girl is the follow-up book to that, helping so many women and men who have been used, abused, and disrespected in relationships.
It's a great picture of you too. Look at you over here, proud mom. Look at how happy you are. It's a great photo.
It's a proud moment.
It's wonderful. Oh, wonderful. Now, are you are you in the new? Is this true? The new Munsters? Are you in this film?
Oh, gee, I have a voiceover.
Okay.
I have done 5 films for Rob, and if Rob calls and asks me, I say yes.
Yeah.
So I kind of wish he hadn't released it like that, because now everybody thinks I'm going to be in it. But I have a voiceover. He asked me, I do it.
One of my favorite shows you made an appearance on, and I wish one of my favorite singers too, David Soul, Don't Give Up on Us, Baby. You were in the episode Starsky and Hutch.
I'm not going to give that.
So what do you want to do? Just fold up the tents and hope it goes away?
You're not being fair. I don't have the authority.
Neither do we.
I was.
How cool is that?
Pretty far back in my career too. It's one of the first guest stars I did.
Wow. So
we had a ball.
I mean,
I could have fallen in love with both of them, but I didn't, because I was married to Christopher Stone, who who everybody in Hollywood wanted to be married to. So, but we had a great time doing that episode. And David, actually, we had lunch together one day, and he played the guitar for me and sang some songs. So that was nice.
What his music is so good. If you go on Spotify and listen to all his music, besides that, he's really such a talented guy, David
Yeah.
Saul.
Yeah.
Okay, Dee, I'm gonna get personal before I let you go. I got to get personal with you. I'm going to ask you a question. If you had to pick just 5 vinyl albums, something that is important to your life, what would they be?
Oh my God, that's a hard.
You're on the desert island. You're gonna have to hear this over and over.
Beach Boys, Simon and Garfunkel, the Beatles. I'm dating myself, aren't
No,
I?
you're great.
Oh, what's his name? That he died in an airplane crash.
Jim Croce?
Huh?
Was
No,
it Jim Croce?
no. I can't remember his name, but him.
Him.
And gosh, you have to come up with one more. Anything. I just love the 60s, dude. I love the 60s.
I love the 60s.
I drive my guy crazy. He says, how can you listen to the same damn songs though? But
Was it Ricky Nelson?
Ricky, they
was it
make
Ricky?
him happy.
Was Buddy Holly?
Yes.
Buddy Holly.
Yes.
Thank you, Ashley Alexander, watching Buddy Holly.
Thank you, Ashley. Thank Dad.
Okay, so we got Buddy Holly, and what was the last one?
I don't know if there was a lot. Anything from the 60s.
Anything from the 60s. Okay, that's fair enough. I will give you a round of applause right there, everybody.
Thank you for that.
I'm gonna ask you one more question. As a kid growing up, teenager, who was your first crush? A famous celebrity.
Oh, celebrity?
Yeah.
Anthony Hopkins.
A census taker once tried to test me. I ate his liver with some fava beans and a nice Chianti.
Oh, wow.
And I have to say, I think he still is.
Wow.
Man, if I was granted one wish, it would be to star in a film with Anthony Hopkins.
That's good. So anybody watching right now, you know where to catch Dee. Dee, I got to thank you for being here. Thank you for being a guest on the show. In the meantime, you were wonderful. In the meantime, everybody, please, in the descriptions, go down, check it out. Links for Dee's book, everything, her website, seminars. Lovely lady. And thank you for giving me the opportunity to talk to you. I hope you come back more. There's so much
I
more to
will
talk
be
to
back. You bet. We're going to
got
have more fun.
Thank you for that. Was Dee Wallace. And if you want to see more of this episode unedited and uncut, click on the box right up there. But until then, everybody, please be safe, be well. Remember, who loves you, baby? We do. Until then, we're out of here, kids.